Hey reporters, welcome back to my channel. There's a lot of controversy right now on page 6, their website, over Harry Styles and whether or not he's queer baiting. I kind of wanted to bring that discussion over here with you guys because, as you know, I really do enjoy listening to your opinions. Just to kind of preface this, I am a straight heterosexual woman, so I think that especially if you guys are in the LGBT Q community, your opinions could be a lot more would be a lot more valuable than mine. So definitely do not hesitate to chime in. I think I'm more interested in you guys' feelings because I was very curious about this. Like, Harry Styles is very well known for dressing eccentrically, pushing gender boundaries or stereotypes or norms when it comes to his style of dress. You know, he's not too scared to wear a dress. He's not too scared to wear a skirt. He's not too scared to wear nail polish. He's not too scared to wear feathers and sequins and all sorts of things that are traditionally associated with women and femininity in general. In looking at his sense of style, have always just enjoyed it. I have never looked at his sense of style and thought, oh, he must be gay or he must be bi or anything like that. I just see him as a very fun and free person who is not afraid of what people think. You know, he's not afraid of being accused of being gay because I think he's somebody who, as anybody else should feel, but unfortunately, other people would take offense to it, but I think he's somebody who's not afraid of people calling him gay for his style of dress or calling him bi or calling him this or queer or this or that, because he just wants to enjoy himself and he believes that everybody should be able to enjoy themselves and just be free and happy. You know what I mean? So that's something that I've always appreciated about him. I think that somebody who can be kind of compared to his style of dress, but in a little bit of a more toned down fashion, is perhaps A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky the other day was wearing a skirt while he was out in New York City with Rihanna. There's somebody else, there's another rapper who's kind of like this as well, and they've never really been accused of queer baiting. So that's why I really wanted to have this discussion with you guys. I think in this discussion, I'm mainly going to be asking questions because, again, I'm straight. So I think that you guys, especially those of you who are in the community, have a lot more valuable insight to offer. Okay. So number one, my first question is, does a man have to be queer or gay or bisexual to dress eccentrically and wear nail polish? I personally thought that the answer was no, right? I thought that, especially in 2020, 2019, we really started making progress towards allowing men and women to just wear whatever the hell it is that they want without fear of judgment. So that's a big kind of point of contention that I have with people accusing him of queer baiting. Another thing is it really fair to bully people into coming out of the closet if they are closeted? So what if Harry Styles is gay or queer or bi and he's not ready to open up about that? Is it fair to try to force him to accuse him of exploiting a community if he does not openly identify as one or the other? Because as we know, it's still dangerous in certain communities and countries and stuff like that to be openly gay. I think that Harry, to a certain extent, is sheltered from that because he's rich and famous and everything. So I think he'd be safe within his family, within his friends, within England, within the United States. However, as an artist, but this is where I can see the argument. As an artist, that might be as a very visible person, maybe he wants to vacation in a place and that place condemns people. That could, be a danger for him or something like that. But I do see the community's argument on that, which would be, well, why would he want to play tours and stadiums in countries like that in the first place? Why would he want to vacation in countries like that in the first place? The next thing I want to ask is Harry Styles not entitled to privacy? So people who are accusing him of queer baiting are saying that he's only ever had public relationships with women. But here's the thing. Harry has never actually confirmed being in a relationship with any of the women that he's ever been linked to. I know there's been Kendall Jenner and right now it's Olivia Wilde, but point me to a place where Harry has ever publicly confirmed being in a relationship with either one of the women. The answer is nowhere, because that's not something that he does. He's one of the celebrities who would rather just leave his personal romantic life private. And I think that's something that should be respected. Maybe one day he will pop up with a man if he is bi or queer or whatever. And I think at that point he still wouldn't talk about it because that's just who he is. He doesn't want to share that sort of information, and he's not obligated to share that sort of information. So Harry Styles is aware of the queer baiting accusations levied against him, so he really did talk about it in his Rolling Stone interview. He said, and I quote, "Sometimes people say you've only publicly been with women, and I don't think I've publicly been with anyone. If someone takes a picture of you with someone, it doesn't mean you're choosing to have a public relationship or something." And I thought that that was something that was really powerful. I think what he's evoking there is like the fact that he really does not consent to this sort of information being out about him in the first place. And so I feel like people who care about him should respect that and understand where he's coming from in that regard. So now coming back to his style of dress, again, I personally feel as though stereotyping gay, queer, or bisexual men as flamboyant and feminine, I consider that to be a bit regressive and harmful to the men who belong in those communities, because there are very many who are very stereotypically male, who who are very macho, or who are very, the antithesis of what people stereotypically see gay men as. And I don't think it's fair to gay men or bi men or whatever to be stereotyped as walking around in feather boas, in sequins, in dresses, in skirts, and everything like that. So I think that's another interesting, point of contention there that I have with people saying, okay, well, you dress a certain way, that means you're one of us, and you need to come out and tell everybody that you're one of us, or else you're using us and you're a fake and you're a fraud. It's like, slow down here. First of all, is it even fair to you that these stereotypes even exist about your community? Right? Like, I don't know. I think that people need to kind of take a little bit of a step back and think about the toxic ideas and stereotypes that they are upholding and that they are spreading about themselves and their own community when it comes to this sort of a thing. The Rolling Stones article mentions other men who are straight and who have been quote unquote flamboyant in their fashion sense before, such as Mick Jagger, such as David Bowie. Other people have mentioned Elvis Presley. I've mentioned A$AP Rocky, and the other guy, I don't remember his name, but he's not like this big rapper or anything like that, but he does like to push boundaries with his style of dress as well. You know what I mean? So Harry did have another quote about everything. He said, "The whole point of where we should be heading, which is toward accepting everybody and being more open, is that it doesn't matter, and it's about not having to label everything. Not having to clarify what boxes you're checking." And I think that's a very powerful and beautiful thing that he's saying there. I think that Harry Styles, more than anything, challenges us to reconsider the way that we stereotypically look at men, masculinity, manhood, male fashion, and male forms of expression. And I think that for that reason alone, it's important to just allow him to exist in his full, authentic nature. What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to just wear only pants, no more bright colors, no more nail polish and stuff like that to appease people? I just don't get it. To me, and I could be wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. When I think of queer baiting, I mainly think of those sexy photo shoots that female celebrities like to do. There was a really recent one with Megan Fox and Kourtney Kardashian, when they were all over each other, where they're stripped down into their undies, pretending to make out with each other, lick each other on the face, and just being very sexual for the male gaze, male eroticism and stuff like that. That's what I think about. I think about those artists who tease romances with women in their music videos, knowing they'd never actually be with a woman. These sorts of things, where it's just the sexualization of same-sex relationships or bisexual relationships or stuff like that. I don't consider a man having his own unique sense of style to be a form of queer baiting. I've never heard Harry Styles talk about sexuality in general. You know what I mean? I've never heard him talk about, these are my gay experiences in the past. Because a lot women are always asked, even by Andy Cohen, who's a gay man, a lot of times when he has women on his show, he'll ask them about exploring with women as if it's a hobby or a sport or something. He'll describe it as swimming in the lady pond. He'll be even to Oprah, he asked, Have you ever dipped or swam in the lady pond? And it's like, really? That's what we're reducing like bisexuality or lesbianism down to? Like just an experience or something like that, like a comical one-time fun summer camp experience? Why are men not being asked these same questions? You know what I mean? Like Harry Styles has never spoken about any of this. So I just don't see where these accusations, like I could see where the accusations are coming from, but I think that they're problematic accusations. I think that they are regressive accusations, and I think that they are toxic accusations that are rooted in stereotyping masculinity, very outdated stereotypes of masculinity, and in the kind of forcing of people to come out and label themselves and label their sexuality when that is something that they either flat out don't want to do or are not ready to do. Anyway, you guys, like I said, I'm more excited to know what you guys have to say about this. My ears are 1,000% open to all of your interpretations. So let's get in the comment section and talk about it, shall we? That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.